Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. Well, I keep hearing people talking about how things have gotten worse. They continue to get worse. Constant wars, suffering, famine, violence, not just in the third world, but also the West. Now, this has probably been going on forever. I think I mentioned this in a video ages ago. I've also talked to people I know in person about this. But it's probably likely this has been going on since the beginning of humanity, beginning of time. But we just weren't able to see it as much back in the day. I mean, with technology today, we have social media, we have means of seeing it on YouTube. Everything is just so out there now. I mean, you can access it at the tip of your fingers. It's not like anything can really be hidden, except for, the group that controls the world and things like that, the cabal, as it were. Now, the topic of this video is going to be, what if this world was controlled or run by truly good people, okay? Like decent people, genuinely good-hearted people. The world would be a much different place. Sure, you can't change the design of this place. You can't change the fact that we die. I mean, who knows? Technology maybe one day, but you can't change those facts. You can't change the fact that we need to consume food in order to survive, protect ourselves from all kinds of diseases and things like that, right? You can't control that. But if those in power, those who ran the infrastructure, the society of the world, we sure as hell wouldn't be where we are right now. We sure as hell wouldn't be having all of these problems that we have. There would be problems, but I really don't believe that it would be to the degree that it is today. Because you look at all these very wealthy billionaires, okay? And I don't mean to bring up money all the time and things like that, but it is part of the system. Let's say that we didn't even have money and the people who were at the top were just the ones running the food systems, the healthcare, all this stuff, okay? Just any basic systems. I mean, because it is possible to run this stuff without money. You can do the system where whoever started a company, we just be fair to everybody. I guess people would call that communism, but I'm not a communist. I don't believe in that system. I'm just simply saying, if everyone, I look at the system of, if any of you watch Star Trek, they live in a future where everyone has enough, everyone is content and pretty happy, and it's just equal wealth. They're not in the pursuit of collecting things or acquisition of things, and it's more of an evil playing ground, for everybody, where everyone it works for the betterment of humanity. And I know this sounds like a pipe dream and all of these things, but let's just think about it for a moment, okay? The ones at the top control everything, the banking system. The system that it was created was also created by them, in fact. But let's say that it wasn't these evil oligarchs or billionaires or whatever you want to call them. I think things would just be a lot better. I mean, even if you had the current system and you had a handful of these ultra wealthy people who actually gave a shit about people, who actually gave a shit about, had empathy for suffering in this place, seeing people starving, seeing people struggling in life, miserable, unhappy, addicted to all kinds of societally accepted drugs. I think that things could change. Sure, people are always going to be addicted to stuff. That's in our nature. That's just the way it's going to be. But I think that it would not be as nearly as bad as it is now, okay? Where everyone's stuck in the rat race, constantly having to worry about keeping the lights on, and rather than just enjoying their existence and contemplating their existence, which nobody really has time to do, right? Nobody has time to stop and smell the roses, enjoy just relaxing, being able to go on some sort of vacation to another country or to another place in their own country. So many variables to this. And I do think about that. I think obviously the current situation is the fact that those at the top, even if someone was willing to want to make some sort of change, let's say one of these multi-billionaires wanted to try to help people by using all of their assets and all of their funds or whatever they have at their disposal to help people, they would not be allowed to. They wouldn't even want to fall out of line because they don't know what could happen to them. This is how much of a stranglehold this group has on humanity, on the system. I'll give it a case in point, a perfect example. I think they were talking about the chemtrails and RFK Jr., how he was hired by the Trump administration. And I know all about politics. I know that it's all been controlled. It's all long been sold, bought and paid for. But he mentioned, I think it was on a talk show, I don't know if it was Dr. Phil or whatever, and somebody asked him about that. And he mentioned HAARP, which I'm not sure many of you know about, but if you research it, you can look into it. And then I think that somebody else asked a question, not in the same show, on some other video or channel or something, and he sort of just basically refuted what he said and just said it was contrails, it's just condensation or something. Now you can see that even someone who wants to go against the system, wants to go against these people, is not allowed to. He probably got told or sent a message saying, hey, don't bother. Unless if you cherish your life, don't bother going there. And it's unbelievable because he's one of the guys, that I thought possibly could try to change things, but it's, it's just so, it's so congested and so, there's just, they have such a stranglehold on the whole political system, and no one can make any changes. No one can do anything that will remotely fix the lives or help the lives of people. So that's just one very tiny example of it. If someone was to try to start building, I don't know, desalination plants for some countries that are struggling with water, you could do that, and it doesn't happen. Or food plants or food plantations or anything, where they can grow food for people who are starving across the world. Doesn't happen. All the philanthropists that I've ever heard of just invest money into their, these funds that are supposedly to help people for their health and things like that. No, that's just to save money. But my point is, we live in a place that we're restricted to certain guidelines, based on our bodies and the chemistry of our being, our very being existence. We can't break away from that, but we can change a lot of the parameters here. I've heard some people talking that awakenings, it doesn't matter about awakenings, people are not asleep. Yes, a lot of people do not want to see the truth. Absolutely. A lot of people are very ignorantly, blissfully ignorant in the day-to-day lives that they live. Absolutely. It's a harsh reality to discover things that you never thought were possible and see that it's unfortunate what goes on. It's really sad, but that is the reality. A lot of people are just sort of stuck in their distraction and their 9-to-5 lives, rat race lives. And it's just all the things that we have in our lives are used as distractions. Okay? I've mentioned it before, sports, alcohol, all kinds of drugs, things that make you feel good, the dopamine hits and things like that. They don't want people to open their minds. I'm not saying it's not possible for someone to not be able to break free of that and think about things simply because they use alcohol or they drink coffee or they smoke or whatever. It is possible because I used to be a drinker. But when you stop all those things, you suddenly realize you can think much clearer. I'm not trying to tell you to stop drinking, to stop doing those things or whatever. Do what you have to do. If it's better for your health to stop, then yes, okay, do that. But anyway, it's just it's so frustrating the way that we see how the world is, and there's just all these people who can't snap out of it. Now, all the systems that are being controlled, which would have to basically stop all their functions, everything that they're doing to people, like all the medications that they're giving people, basically keeping people very sedated in a way, that would have to stop for a large swath of the population to suddenly start realizing things. But I think at the end of the day, it's just a hard pill to swallow for people. Most people just can't see that we're being controlled, because they think that the political system and everything like that are the ones that are, running the system. And just because it fails or anything goes wrong, it just means it's human error or that people are flawed. Now, let's go back to that question. If good people were running things at the top, where would we be? Would we be in the situation right now? I don't think so. I honestly don't even think there would be as many wars as we have. There would still be disputes and things like that, but I don't think it would be to the scale that it is. I think that everything is so intertwined. Making money, these businesses have to make money, but they also want to control the narratives of every aspect of our lives. But if there were good people, truly good people running this place, this matrix, I think it would be a much better place. A lot of people would be much happier. There wouldn't be so much sorrow and despair. But that goes back to the question: are they the same people or beings, whatever it is, controlling this? Did they create this matrix? Did they create this realm? Likely, it's possible. Most likely. So, which begs the question: were they basically the ones? Is it inevitable that this place stays this way, like at the top, or if there was a sudden awakening, a full-on awakening, could this be reversed? I like to think yes, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Yes, we have to think about where we go after this place. Of course, that's a very important question, but we also want to, for future generations, so long as this place is running, we need to try to figure out a way that these generations can be happier and see the truth as to what's going on. So, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I just wanted to throw out that video and talk about what if there were good people running the show, essentially, where we'd have much more empathy towards others. I just think it would be a much better place, a hell of a lot better of a place for sure. Now, one last thing I will say: how many good people do you think are actually exist in the world? Like, out of the they say there's billions of us, 8 billion. How many of those people are actually decent human beings? I'll leave that question for you guys. Anyways, thanks for taking the time to listen, and we'll catch you in the next one very soon. Bye for now.